Hey everybody, this is Will Herrington, and here's my truth. I'm a guy who falls short all the time. I'm my hardest critic, I procrastinate, I use negative self-talk and break promises to self-sabotage. I'm a foul-mouthed ex-drug addict in recovery who needs way too much validation to feel okay in my own skin. But despite all that, I've built thriving businesses the past 14 years, have an amazing family and friends, and I'm able to see the big picture with amazing clarity. I'm an absolute junkie at trying to encourage people to find their best self. So this just isn't a podcast, it's a talk show for real conversations and for all ages. Sorry about the cussing in advance. We're diving into everything from life's toughest challenges to its most beautiful wins. Think of it as your one-stop shop for inspiration, actionable insight, and a few laughs along the way. So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's grow together. This is The Will Herrington Show. Ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-bum, bum. I wrote this, by the way. We'll see you soon. All right, here we go. Episode number 1. I was laughing because I went and looked at the pre-podcast that we put out on Spotify and Apple, and it was, and it's from January, which we are definitely going to talk about. So it only took me 7 months to make myself get on this microphone. So I'm pretty excited about that. Welcome to the Will Herrington Show, man. I think it's going to be such an awesome ride. And when we get to the 100th show, we shall celebrate. I am going to put up the video of this, but I think it's going to be great to listen in the car. You're chilling, you're stuck in traffic, you need something to hope you chill out a little bit. And so this first one, we're going to kind of go through what it's going to be all about. And then as we move forward, everyone will get used to it. And so I definitely, and I'm not going to be super polished, but here we go. I'm going to try not to make excuses. I'm just going to dive right in and talk about, how the show's going to work. And here we go. So the first thing that we're always going to start with, is our mantra of the day. And so something that's always helped me, and we'll spend a few minutes on this, is keeping the end in mind, right? And so I think about if today was the last day, right? Now I'm not talking about going crazy and pandemonium, right? But I'm talking about if you knew the end was near, start with the end in mind each day you wake up, right? And that we're all even when we turn to dust. And I love this. So no matter where you're at in your life, no matter what you're struggling with, no whether you're excited about, right? If you're judging someone, if you're judging yourself, right? Just remember that when it's all said and done, right? We're all going to be dirt in the ground, right? And then wherever you believe or whatever you believe from there, right? But at some point we won't be here. And that actually gives me great comfort. So when you're kind of stuck in a place and you're not sure what to do, or maybe you're in self-pity, maybe you're in true mourning, maybe you just hit a grand slam, just remember that this is just a moment in time, right? Isn't that cool? It's just a moment in time, and we're going to do everything we can to build each other up through this. So this will be cool. So while you're driving or sitting at your desk and you're chilling out, I want you just to take a minute and kind of go reflect about what you're in this week, right? You having problems with friends? You having problems with families? It's the best week of your life. You made an A on your test. And by the way, we've got a big group of people, which I'm going to talk about lately. So we have younger people following our show, all the way down, I think, to 16, 17, and then all the way up into the 70s. So just remember, I'm going to try to talk about things that work for everybody. So, if you're still in high school or in college and you're just getting things going, or if you're 80 years old and you just don't know what you're going to want to do with your life, let's take a moment and say, we're the lucky ones today because we got to wake up And no matter what, at least we got one more day. And even if we can't help ourselves, maybe we can help somebody else, which I think is really, really cool. So one of the things we're going to do on the show is we're definitely going to play a little music throughout, and we'll get to my favorite song and all that. And then we've got like create the song, which I forgot. I didn't write a song for this, but we'll get to that. So take a minute, whatever you're doing, just chill. I'm going to play some music for just like 2 minutes while we get into this. And so think about your day, right? I hope you're starting your day with this, right? Let's make this the show we start our day with. Oh, that'd be awesome. So close your eyes, whatever you want to do. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. That'd be horrible. Let's do some contemplation, right? Maybe you're stuck about to just go off on someone on I-35 with the 90,000 cars that are on there. All right, so let's chill for a minute. Oh, by the way, this is like first rev, so audio is going to sound horrible. I don't have all my fancy lights up because remember, we're building the show together, right? So if you hate music at the beginning of it, be sure to go to I think we're going to stick with Instagram for right now, the Instagram page, and leave us notes on this and say, hey man, let's do this. Or I guess you're going to be able to leave them. I don't know where all you can leave comments. We'll start with Instagram. Oh, yeah, we definitely got to fix the recording. All right, cool. So just take a minute. That was just, I'm going to doodle and make up songs as we go along. So good. Now we're in the right mindset. Man, we're lucky. We're tuned in. We're excited about the day. And the next thing I want to start with is that next set of the gratitude. So we're always going to start with the end in mind and then a gratitude or a tribute. And that's the other really neat thing. It's going to be like, oh my God, this is the most downer show ever, but it's really not. It's neat to think about finality, right? It's neat to remind yourself just how lucky you are, right? Just how special you are as well. So in the gratitude tribute part, I'm going to kick off with, and usually it doesn't have to be someone who's passed away, by the way. I just thought about that. But this tribute and probably the tributes for the next, 100 shows, because I got so many people, will probably be people that passed away, right? Because I think the other big piece, we've got all this AI going on, we've got all this technology, we've got all this go, 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 fast, fast, fast. And what's really cool, and I'll talk about my day job later, is realizing that one of the things that we can keep close to us that won't have anything to do with AI, won't have anything to do with speed or technology in a way, is the legacy that we hold and that we share about other people. Because as long as we keep talking about other people, they're always going to be the minds. And I think that's an amazing thing, right? So this one is a quick tribute, and I'm going to kick this one off to my mom, Linda Herrington. She was a rock star, man. And she passed away way too early. 70, crazy, right? But in her life, man, she had a lot of things that she had to go through, and very proud of all that she accomplished. She was the first female principal in Round Rock School District. She was blessed enough to have an elementary school in the Round Rock Independent School District named after her, Linda Herrington Elementary. But more than that, those are accolades, right? But that's also shows her commitment to what she did for other children, which was really neat. Because I remember always seeing her students, and they were just like, "Hey, Mrs. Herrington, thank you so much for what you did." But even in the hardest times, man, I just feel like she always had a smile on her face, at least to me. And she definitely had a rough road and a lot of adversity for sure in her life. And she always tried to protect and shield me. And I'm grateful for that now that I'm older. So, Mom, you get the first episode, and I love you, and I think about you all the time, and I tell my kids about you all the time. So when you're out there, think about somebody who's not with us anymore. Maybe you can dedicate your entire day to them today. Maybe that's the kickoff, right? You know what? I'm having a shitty day, great day, whatever day, right? But today I'm going to dedicate it to so-and-so who isn't here. So I'm going to dedicate them, do my best, chin up as much as I can, pushing through as much as I can because they made a difference in my life, and then share it with someone that day. I think that would be cool too, right? The way that we get to keep people going, like I said, is to share their stories. So don't just keep it internally, like when you're at the coffee shop or, you know, you're at work or you're talking to your spouse or your children. Mention that person. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, this is what this person meant to me. I think it's a cool thing. And then once we have our 1 million subscribers, just think once a week, 1 million people will be talking about other people, and then maybe 10 and 20 million. That'd be sweet. Okay. So that's how we're going to kick off this show when we get things going. And today's probably going to be semi-short. And then from here, hopefully I'll get all the buttons working and we'll have some little music that pops in. Maybe someday we'll even have ads. But what I want to talk about today is what I'm going to call the 100 days. And it took me a while to figure out where I wanted to go with this. And so I'm older. I'm now 57. I was 56 when I did the pre-podcast, which is hilarious. And now I'm a year older since launching episode 1. But I want to talk about 100 days because I'm going to tell my story, and then hopefully you can apply it to yourself. And maybe not, maybe so. But let's go for a quick journey. And so this is going out to the people who, so I think the message I want to get across today is, man, every single day on social media or the news or in life, it always feels like someone is doing something better than me. And I think I've had a pretty successful career, and I've definitely, through all of it, I've definitely had a very successful life. I'm very blessed and fortunate. But as we built up this wedding business, that's my day job right now. I love my day job. I found myself, I'm one of those people who always wants to do more and get started. What's the next thing? What can I do to improve? So I don't know where you guys are at on that, but I'm the person who will like make plans forever. Like so many plans, so many outlines, so many everything, instead of just taking the first step forward, because I think that's always the hardest piece. And so when I started this, I was very lucky that I ran into some people that helped guide me. But even in that, I want to talk today about the 100 days and pushing through that. So here's my story. What happens with me, let's take this exact show as we build it together. I've had so many people tell me, man, you need to be in front of people. You need to be talking to people and motivating them and getting them excited. I'm like, I know. And if I see you in Starbucks, or if I see you out on the street or in a mall or wherever, man, I'll talk to you forever, and I'll get caught up and we'll tell jokes, you know. But putting a mic in front of me or taking the opportunity to fail, man, it's just something that is really blocks me. And I think about these I did the show in January. I did the little 9 minutes. Hey, this is what the show's going to be about in January. But I've been thinking about doing the Will Herrington show for years, and always hiding behind, oh man, no one's going to listen. No one's going to like it. So maybe there's something in your life that you've really been wanting to do. Maybe you're at the end of one career wanting to start another one. Maybe you're at the end of one relationship wanting to start another one, or maybe just wanting to be on your own, right? Maybe you're in high school just trying to figure out how you're going to get to college, right? And so what I'll tell you that I did to get me to this first one that we're listening to today is I started reading and I started following people that were doing it. And I came across some people, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute, that kind of helped me down this road of just go do it. Easier said than done, right? And the fear and doubt and procrastination, was incredible. And it still is today. This self-doubt is just unbelievable of what goes through my mind, even though I know that I can make a difference and definitely make people laugh. So I know I keep circling back. I'll get better at the format. We'll all laugh at this one in a year. I think I'm just trying to relate with you to say, when you're in that place of wanting to do something different or make a change, just know you're not alone, and all the people out there with all the perfect smiles and all the perfect pages and all that, they're not. And I've talked to a ton of them, right? We all have discussions, and so have you. So just don't benchmark yourself against that. Just try to have a real conversation with who you are and why you're wanting to do this. Man, it could be as simple as learning Spanish. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, or cooking a meal, right? But it could be just as much fear, or that first date, right? Or stepping away from something, or gosh, even the harder one, right? Saying, this isn't working in my job, right? I gave it a shot, but I need to move on to something else. And so what I always found through my recovery, and something we'll talk a lot more about, is the more you get out of yourself and help others, you can find yourself in a better place. So finding other people that were doing it for me was definitely one of the keys. And I talked about this, I won't say a couple of days ago. So on the show, the big one that hit me is, so as my day job wedding business, we're really, really expanding and doing some cool stuff. But I've also been trying to get this off the ground. And one of the big rules is, hey, man, you focus on one thing, right, as best you can. So I'm cheating a little bit on trying to do both, but I think hopefully it's gonna work a little bit. But as I look out and I looked at those idols, and I was looking at what their life was, or what they were creating, or how much money they were making. Yep, I'll say that out loud. I just got so envious and jealous all the time. It's just like, why am I not smart enough? Why can't I figure this out? But I am smart enough. I just haven't put in the work. And so I had mentioned people like, down the road, Jeff Bezos, and I'm not judging. Again, this is not a political show at all. Plenty of shows for political shows. So you can pick whoever you want. It can be a famous chef. For me, it's mainly people in business for sure. And I was just like, gosh, how did he do this? He made it out of his garage. And so many of those you see, he went out of his garage and then he grew this. And why don't I know this about business or finance or these pieces that I haven't learned yet? And that's what brought me back to when we were talking about this start of the day with the end in mind. And I said, you know what, at the end of this, as long as I've been a good person trying to help other people, you know what I mean? When we're all in the dirt 100 years from now, yeah, a lot more people are probably going to know Jeff Bezos than they're going to know Will Herrington. But it won't matter. Because think about 100 or 200 years ago. Yeah, I know a few. I could do what? Rockefeller, Ford, right? But name 10 people who solved major medical or financial things. It's really hard to do. And it opened up this window to me like, okay, we're really not all that different in the end, are we? Nope. Because we're all underground, right? So kind of gave me a boost up to say, go do this, man. What matters is the people that are supporting you, which we're going to talk about in a little while. And I promise I'll quit saying we're going to talk about it in a little while. I just got to get better at the format. Okay. The other thing I've been petrified of doing is like giving out my secrets. I don't want anyone to get ahead of me, which is just such a shallow way of thinking about things. So as I was going down this journey, there's one guy I'm going to say because he was actually the first book that I read, but I'm going to save him for a different episode. But let's just say that the way that we've done business is we're kind of guerrilla marketing. All of our growth and the way that we've done things is through referrals, word of mouth, our skill, our quality, but not really any advertising, man. I haven't spent hardly any money on advertising. And to be honest, when all the social media stuff came out, right, And again, a million different opinions on this. I'm just sharing mine, from Instagram to TikTok to, I don't know, all of them, right? And having kids, you're like, hey, I don't want you on this, right? This is not good for you. And then I started meeting some other people that threw me into this vacuum. And so I kind of created this arrow. And so I'm going to name off some people. So if you're into business or if you're trying to create something and you're not sure who these people are, I would highly suggest you go follow them. Even if you're not in business, go follow them. Like if you just have a passion, it could be as easy as quilting. It doesn't matter. But if you're one of those people, again, 16, going to college, you want to do have a job while you're working, but maybe you want to do your own side hustle kind of thing. These are foundational people in my world right now that I'm listening to on a daily basis. So again, highly recommend all of these. So again, this other guy I'm going to talk about later on a different show, got to give him a little bit more credit because he was the first book, led me to a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. And Gary, I'm using your name. Hopefully we'll tag you in this. I'm starting my 100 days, dude. Hopefully my 1,000 days. And Gary opened my perspective to a completely different world on social media. Not only that, he changed my world on how marketing and trends, and it's moving so fast. It's crazy. And so I owe a lot to Gary as far as, even though I haven't been doing the 100 days yet, Gary, I've read every single one of your books already, not only on audio, I've read every printed one. I've got lines through all of them. And so I kind of had to stockpile on my procrastination. And now we start getting ready to go. And Gary, in my mind, his whole thing is the world is happening. And if you put these things off, they're going to pass you by. Social media is not going anywhere. It may change in form, but it's not going anywhere. And so if you can look at it more as an ally, if you can look at it more for what it can be used for the good of, it's a pretty incredible tool. And so he was kind of the kickoff, and his books, there's a lot of different ones, a lot of different books that cover a lot of different things, but check him out. Check out his books. He will definitely inspire you if you're trying to get started and you're not ready to. At any age. That's my favorite thing about this guy. He's a machine. And then listening to Gary, then these things popped up, and there's a guy named Alex Hormozi. Now, you may know Alex, you may not know him, but if you don't know him, he just completed the most incredible, it's actually a Guinness Book of World Record, book launch, but he's brilliant because he book launched exactly what his other 3 books were, and the launch really had nothing to do with his book. It had to do with the secret books behind what he was doing. And it was a master class in business. So if you are thinking of definitely starting your own business, and by the way, these two connect. So Gary and Alex, in my mind, totally connect. Go check them out. To me, Alex is more like meat and potatoes, straight in your face. This is what you need to be doing. He has a ton of killer books on pricing, on leads. His next one is scalability models. Very easy to understand, but just brilliant. So if you're needing motivation, even in your job, man, like if you're in a job, all of these people, including Gary and Alex, are going to get you motivated in the job that you're in or in a relationship that you're in. It all works, which is crazy. So if you think of like an arrow, those two were the 2 points. And then that led me to a guy named Steven Bartlett. You may know Steven from Diary of a CEO. And Steven is he is insane in his own right. So if you haven't been watching the Diary of the CEO, it's insane. And then he has another YouTube channel, which also covers the behind the scenes, which is just as crazy. His meticulous life and the tools that he uses. I've gotten 2 or 3 tools off of Steven that I'm using. And I'm talking about technology tools that have just helped me. But his brain on what I'll call the nth degree, okay, so here's something I'm going to tell you. When you're running ads, and this is something I didn't even know 6 months ago, right? You do A/B testing to find out which ad is the best. You know, I'm listening to this guy. He's doing 92 tests or 192. I think it's 92. 92 A/B tests for like the first 4 words in a beginning sentence for YouTube. And I'm just going, I'm already defeated. Like there's no way to keep up with these 3 guys. It's insane what they do, but you can take little bitty pieces. And the Diary of a CEO, Steven, I've read all your books as well, by the way. And I'm going to dive into those later because there's some chapters in all of them, but Steven, like, here you go. 2nd chapter, to master it, you must create an obligation to teach it. Whoa, there you go. So definitely go check out his book, The Diary of CEO. That's another monster book. For Gary, sorry, I pulled away from the mic. For Gary, man, I would actually, this is, you know, I hope you're listening, Gary. I hope you tune into this, man. I would actually start with 12 and a half because I think it's such a killer foundational piece. And it doesn't have much to do with anything that has to do with the ads. It has to do with, again, who you are as a human. And I think if you don't get those things grounded, you know, the fight can be harder. All right. So that in the beginning was my triangle. So check them out. Gary Vaynerchuk, Alex Hormozi, right? Steven Bartlett. They're just fun. And for anyone who's going to be watching the video, I know there's a blue glare on this thing. Sorry, it's my screen. We'll get all that fixed. John's going to yell at me. Okay. So imagine now, but I decided to make a point here. So we got Gary, we got Alex, and then I've got Steven. So now we're just making an arrow. So think of like, this is how we get through. Now, I'm going to say Jesse Eitzer because that's the way I say it. Then there's Jesse Eitzer. And Jesse is crazy. And he created this thing called the Big Ass Calendar. And I have both. I have his Big Ass Calendar and I have his Big Ass Planner. And I use them every single day. And he takes this very interesting perspective. He's another self-made guy. His stories are absolutely hilarious. He's just, in a weird way, he probably reminds me the most of myself. Like, I think he's 50. Sorry. Jess, I could have looked it up, but I didn't. He's just the most bubbly. He's like a kid in an older body who's just crushing it. And so if you want like help with like making sure you're doing certain things throughout the year just to embellish your life, this is not, yes, he does business as well, but this is way more about embellishing life and living it to its fullest, and don't beat yourself up so much and get in the game. This is the guy. So definitely go check him out. And by the way, I have a complete list of females that we're going to go through, and I'm going to start with one, which is Sarah Blakely. Now, who's Sarah Blakely? Who could that be? So for any ladies out there who happens to wear Spanx, or any guys out there that happen to wear Spanx, I'm not judging any of that. She is the creator, and her story is off the chart, man. Like I just saw one the other day where she was, you know, she wanted this ring when she was in school, and I'm not going to give it away, but just like her tenacity and the way she played out the card to get the discount on that ring is brilliant, and you can find it online. They're very open. They have 4 kids, I think, and they're this just like killer combination. And so is Alex, by the way. Yeah, I should not leave that out. He is incredible as well. Okay. So as you're starting your 100 days, and if you want to get your backup group, and there's a million of them, right? These are mine. I've got a whole nother giant list, but foundationally who changed me, it's definitely this group. So Gary Vaynerchuk, Alex Hormozi, Steven Bartlett, Jesse Eitzer, and Sarah Blakely. Just, you can go to town. Oh, it's raining outside today. Cool. You can go to town with that. You could spend the next year just diving into that on any of it, YouTube, every single night. It'll blow your mind. So if you find yourself in a funk, that's kind of my foundational for right now. And then we will move into, and I think that's all I'm going to do today for the main body of work. So just remember, the 100 days I gave you the people that kind of got me started on that journey. We're getting the first one recorded. You're starting to see more stuff come up on social media. But just remember where they all talk about this. And, of course, Mr. Beast is going to be on my list for later. But before you say anything, before you say it won't work, before you say I can't do it, that could be diet, that could be friendship, that could be school, that could be whatever. Ask yourself the question, have I spent 100 days in a row, not missing a day, don't beat yourself up if you do, right? Get back, right back on track. Working on the things that I'm trying to get better at. I want to be great in chemistry. Did you study for 100 days in a row? I want to play golf. Did you at least go in the front and putt or chip? Did you put in the time, right? We'll talk about 10,000 hours. That's a whole nother show. Get to talk about the Beatles. But just remember that until you get to 100 days of something, don't say you can't do it. See how much progress you're actually going to make with just 100 days out of your entire life committed to something new. I want to go to every college football game this year. Awesome. That'd be a great goal, actually. God, I wish I could do that. I can't. I still got young kids. Got to be here and knock that out, right? That'd be fun. Okay. Golly, that screen's going to drive me crazy for y'all that are watching, and I apologize. I promise next episode it won't be there. Okay, so after we do the main topic, and again, I'll have this like cleaned up and make some jingles like Song of the Week, that kind of thing. I am going to go into Song of the Week, and here's the weirdest thing about music, man. Oh, sorry. Let's talk about next episode. So next episode, we are going to cover a topic called Know Thyself. And this one's going to be awesome, because we're going to try to fight through that lie, and I will give you all my examples. Hopefully you can join me for a few of your examples. But we're going to be talking about coming to terms with who you are, who you really are, and then building that world around you. So I'm excited about it, man. So episode 2 will be Know Thyself. I'm making a note because I won't even remember. Okay. Music. Here's the crazy thing about podcasts, man. Oh, and I don't remember. Gordon. He is a podcast guy, and I don't remember. Gordon, I promise I'll get you on the next one, man. My bad. He's a podcast attorney. But I had a meeting with him, and man, you cannot play music on your podcasts unless it's licensed. And I play music forever, and I should know that. But like, I can't even recite it like a poem. I can't do it. So what we're going to end up doing is on the Spotify channel, the Will Herrington Show, not the podcast channel. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm going to have to interrupt this awesome podcast to go. Oh, no, there we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Back on track. We'll make sure we have this cleaned up. You can't play other people's music. You'll get sued. You can't do it. You'll get in a lot of trouble on it. So what I've done is I'm going to talk about a song, and then we're going to have that song on our Spotify channel. So then you can go and listen to it. So I think that'll be pretty cool as well. And there's a billion songs. Music has always been a part of my life. I'm sure it's a part of your life. Maybe it's not. If it's not, I highly recommend it. It's a big changer. And I want to introduce a ton of new music. And so the first song that I want to introduce is from a guy named Sting. You probably know him. It's from an album called Soul Cages. And I'm a big album guy. Like, I'm from the days where I'm from the days from before you could just pull up a list. You had to actually listen to an album or cassette. That's how old I am. For all you youngins in there, I've been so happy with my daughter's group of friends, the songs that they're picking, like Billy Joel, and it's insane. They're so into older music as well, which is just incredible. It really makes me happy. But sonically and together, this may be an album you don't even know from Sting. It's a Journey album, and it's really, really incredible. And the song that I'm going to talk about for 2 seconds is called Why Should I Cry For You? And, oh my God, I'm going to have to do this. Hang on. Yep, in the middle of it. God, sorry about that. Hang on. Get in here. Yeah. So there you go, right? You got to have real comedy. So in the middle of the podcast, and I'm not going to cut it either. And I think what's going on here is I don't have enough light. My dog is deathly afraid of thunder. And so today it is now thundering and raining in my hometown. So anyway, had to let the dog into the room. There we go. All right. Sting, Soul Cages. Why Should I Cry for You? It's a really interesting take, and it kind of goes with, I'm going to try to match what we're working on. But it's pretty much about a guy who's in a boat, at least my interpretation. And, you know, he's got his partner at home. He's working his way back. It's been death and blood. And so it's like, why should I cry for you? More or less, in a weird way, he is feeling sorry for himself on the journey. And this is my interpretation, and I just love it because it's kind of like, why should I? Even though he is, right? He is crying. He is missing her, but the journey that he's going through is so miserable that it's like, why aren't you crying for me? You know, that's the way I take it. And so here's my take on it. As you're going along your journey, whatever that is, it's very easy. And sometimes, sometimes it's valid to be in that place. It's not really self-pity. Like, it's really a shitty day. It's really a fucked up day, man. Life is going to give you, in my experience, life is going to give you a ton of fucked up days. And so what we do with those days and how we recover from those days is instrumental to how we get out of it. And so I look at this song, go check it out, put it on, see what it means to you. But I look at it actually as the journey of, I'm going to talk about self-pity, but I'm going to stay in this boat and I'm going to keep rowing and I'm going to find my way back to you. And that is the way that I look at it. So Sting, you are welcome to call into the show. That would be great. Let us know your actual interpretation. I don't have a phone number for you to call in. Leave a comment. Thank you so much. But check it out, because I think that's what I don't like to say we. So I'll say in my experience, I've been in that place a million times where I've been in massive either self-pity or self-doubt. And the more I can realize that it's just part of the journey. And I will say this real quick. Let me finish with this part. I'm a massive believer in the closer you're getting to your goal, and I don't care if that's making chocolate chip cookies, the closer you're getting to anything, the mountain gets higher, man. And it's just like, God, if I could just get over this hill, I'm so close. I'm so close. And there'll be other mountains that come along once you hit it, but man, just stay the course. I'm here. I've got your back. So I am asking you to stay the course. I believe in all of y'all. We can do this together on Instagram at The Will Herrington Show. Leave your comments to this episode for sure, so that we can talk about it. And then I'll go figure out YouTube and where you actually have to leave them so that we can have better discussions. But for right now, go listen to it. Pop over to Will at The Will Herrington Show. Or not Will at the Will, just at The Will Herrington Show. And let me know what you think about this first one. Let me know if you want me to change anything. I might not change anything, just FYI. But let's build up your self-esteem. Book of the week. You know what? That's another one I was going to have on there. So we can go with Diary of a CEO, Steven Bartlett. That was a great one to do. And then the only thing I'm not going to get to today, what are we at? 38 minutes. I'm going to kill it. So I've got skits coming. So two things we didn't do today. And what I'll do is I will do skits before the main topic. That'll kind of be fun. And on the skits, what I'm doing there is I've got all these Saturday Night Live skits that I want to send to Lauren Michaels. I'm dead serious. So on this show, we're going to tag him due, and we'll be like, all right, Lauren, here are your 5 free, incredible Saturday Night Live skits. And if you will just give me credit, you don't even have to pay me for them because they're just that good. And we'll do one a show, and then I'll explain it. And since most of this is audio, I may even do some different, I may even play it out and do some different voiceovers. I haven't decided yet, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll do the skits before we do the main message. That'll kind of keep things lively. We'll do the main message. And then the last thing we're going to come back with is what I'm going to call Build a Song. And I think that'll be a blast. And that's how we're going to end the show, which what I'm going to do there is the exact same thing. I'm going to play some music on piano. And at some point we may add in some other people. I've got tons and tons and tons of songs that I've started. Some are more along than others. And we're going to create them, have fun with it, see what we can do. Y'all are going to give input to it. And then I'll send them out and see if I think this one should go to Adele. I think this one should go to, whoever. And we'll just kind of make our list and we'll have fun with it and see if anyone ever reaches back out, which would be off the chart. And then I think that's it. And then I think from there, obviously the goal would be here is to have, without a doubt, it won't just be me. I think when you have more people, it turns into a lot of fun. So what'll happen there is we'll start bringing people in. And I should have tagged y'all. See, I should have done the bait to stick around to the end of the show because who knows. So let's see who's actually here at the end of the show 40 minutes later. So after we build the song, we'll do our outro. We'll kick it in. But I have some incredible news for y'all that I'm so excited to report. And that is that we have almost hit our 1 million followers on Instagram on the Will Herrington Show. That's right. We have 115 people. That's right. I know you're blown away. You're like, no way. You're almost there, dude. You are so close, right? All you need is 999,885 more people, which I think we can do this by tomorrow. I think I'm really believing in this 115 group. And a quick shout out, because maybe some of y'all now be on the show later. Just wanted, I can't do all 115 today, but I am going to say thank you to Rhonda Kleckler, Donna Duke Warman, Kaylee Doyle, Meredith Guthrie, Brittany Slamp, Leslie Guthrie Bradshaw, JB Slim. Thank you, brother. Check this out, dude. Oh, yeah, I got one of your songs on here, dude. But I got to call you and get permission. Gina Nelson Latham, Miss Caroline Boggs. Thank you, Caroline. Mr. Joe Ellis, my main man, my main brother. Thank you, man. Miss J. Marie, Hazel Rain Bigham. That's right. Thank you, Hazel. And then I'm going to stop there, and then we will have more next week. So tell your friends. Let's make next week. That's right. Let's hit 1 million in a week. I think we can do it. And if not, let's see if we can get to 120. I appreciate all of y'all. And here's the kicker for me, man. If I only have 115 people forever, I don't give a shit anymore. Because as long as I'm doing it for y'all and y'all are digging it, then I'm going to keep doing it. One more I got to mention, because he texted me in January. He has emailed me. He has been like the supporter, and that is Hans Klinger, man. So Hans, I hope you're listening to this at the very end of the show, because brother, your support and inspiration is one of the things that got me off my ass and got me going. So I do have an outro already pre-recorded, and so we're going to play that. This is Will Herrington with the Will Herrington Show. This is episode 1. Y'all made it happen by giving me enough confidence to do this. I made it happening by start my 100 days. Gary, I'll see you on your show. Oh, I better do it right now. Steven Bartlett. Here's one for your Diary of a CEO. Why don't you do a CEO that isn't as successful yet? That's right. A good old common person like Will Herrington. And then you can have me on the show when I have 115 followers. And then when I have 115 million. I think this would be a really good idea. All right. Y'all have a great day. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you want me to change. Have the best. I already said have a great day. Have a great day. And let's go with the outro. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope this episode hit home and gave you something to think about, or maybe even to act on. If you're enjoying these conversations, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. And please tell your friends about it too. It's gonna take a little while to see what you can dream. You gotta dream it. You gotta believe it. You gotta do it. And when the road is leading you down the wrong track, and you know there's a long way to go, just sit right back in here and enjoy the show, man. It's still the best ride there is. So remember this. You're never too young. You're never too old. And it's never too late. Everyone has a story to tell, including you. So start writing yours today. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and keep showing up. I'll see you soon on the Will Herrington Show.